Hello, my friend, and welcome to today's practice. My name is Sydney, if you don't already know me, and this channel is all about sharing yoga and inspiration to connect you deeper to your inner world as well as your outer world. So today, what I have to share with you is a yoga practice focused on the earth element, focused on grounding, stability, comfort, really rooting down. So with this focus on the earth element, we are also going to be focusing pretty much mainly on the root chakra. If you don't know anything about the chakra system, that's okay. You don't need to. Let that go. That will be a different video for a different time, or you can dive into researching it on your own if it interests you. But essentially the root chakra is our root, our sit bones, and down, so also including our legs. The earth element and the root chakra have much to do with balance, stability, security, but oftentimes if you're struggling with trust, if you don't have a lot of connections to your surroundings in terms of friends and family, maybe you don't have a permanent residence, then possibly your root chakra is like a little bit needing something. I don't know what that something is. Maybe it's this yoga practice, maybe it's something else. But overall, I hope that this practice here today leaves you feeling more grounded and safe. And like this is a safe space for you to practice, and that your yoga mat, wherever you are, is a safe space for you to be. So that was a long intro. We're going to be working towards tree pose today. If you enjoy this practice, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you're not, and definitely join the Facebook group, the Yoga for Hiking Facebook group. This week, actually in real time as I'm posting this video, I'm running a elemental meditation challenge totally for free in the Facebook group. So if this is something that you like, you can head there, even if you're watching this years in the future. Hopefully those videos in the Facebook group stick around. Enough rambling, let's get started. So go ahead and find a comfortable seat to start. You can find a cross-legged position, whatever you need to do to support your seat, your ankles or your knees. If you need to put pillows beneath you in any way, that is perfect and more than welcome here. If you feel safe to do so, go ahead and softly close your eyes. But if that doesn't feel right, just bring your gaze down in front of you. This easy seat is a beautiful way to begin to connect to our roots. Our roots here seated directly on the ground, touching the earth, fully connected. Ensure that your spine is in a straight line, trying not to slouch at all, and begin to observe your breath. You may even start to imagine that with each inhale, you are pulling energy up through your roots, up your spine, and anywhere you need that energy in your body. And with each exhale, allowing the breath to latch on and grab anything that you'd like to release with the breath down into the ground below you. Soak it up. Let the earth take care of you here. Let the earth take any of your excess. Only inhaling what you need and exhaling what you don't. A couple more breaths here to yourself. On your next inhale, you can open your eyes if you need to, but if you're able to keep your eyes closed or softly directed down, then keep on doing that. But on your inhale, we'll open up our arms to cactus arms. So your elbows will be at a right angle, your biceps extended out left and right, and your fingertips pointing up towards the sky. So like a football post. Making sure to still sit tall, elbows pulling backwards, but not so much that the shoulders start to creep up towards your ears. Maybe lift the chin slightly. And on an exhale, bringing your forearms together, curl inwards. Maybe chin towards chest. Inhale, open up. Exhale, chin towards chest. Inhale, opening arms left and right. One more time. Exhaling, forearms, elbows come together. Inhaling to open up. On your next exhale, go ahead and bring the forearms together once again, but bring the right elbow below the left. You might bring the back of the hands together, or you might be able to wrap the right arm, because the right elbow was on the bottom, wrap the right arm towards you, and then over to the right so that your palms come together. And as you do this, lift the elbows up and bring the hands away from your face. Staying in stillness. On an exhale, unwind and open the arms back wide, cactus arms. And exhale, bringing the forearms together, this time left elbow on the bottom. The backs of your hands can come together, or your left hand might come towards you and wrap around. Palms moving towards each other, maybe not directly touching. Inhaling, elbows lift and hands guide away from you. Simply breathe, simply be. On an exhale, release. Inhale, lifting both hands up, maybe gaze lifts. And on an exhale, twisting to the left, left hand behind you, right hand on your left knee. Inhaling to lift tall and exhaling to gaze over your left shoulder. Right away on an inhale, untwist, lift the hands, fingertips towards the ceiling, and exhale, twist to the right. Staying rooting down through your left hip and right hip equally. Inhaling tall through the spine and exhale, gazing over the right shoulder. And on an inhale, coming back up through center, fingers lift, and then make your way to a tabletop position. Hands below shoulders, knees below hips. Fingers spread wide, pressing solidly down through your toes, the tops of your feet. And actually go ahead and crawl your knees back slightly behind the hips. Hands forward slightly. We're going to move through like a little mini salutation, staying close to the ground here, close to our balance, close to our roots. On an inhale, shift forward so your shoulders come above your wrists once again. Your legs might start to straighten a little bit. Hips move forward. And on an exhale, bend your elbows in towards your sides as your front body comes down to your mat. Inhale, shoulders roll down and back as your head and chest lift, low cobra. And on an exhale, pressing into the hands, lifting the hips up and back. child's pose. On an inhale, lifting upper body up for that wide table. Shoulders above wrists here. Exhale, elbows in towards your sides, front body comes down. Inhale, lifting chest, lifting gaze, low cobra. And exhale, lifting the hips up and back, child's pose. One more time, inhaling to lift up, shoulders above wrists. Exhale, bending elbows in at your sides, bringing your belly down. Inhale, maybe pushing into the hands to come up a little bit higher in this cobra. And exhale, hips glide on back, child's pose. For this child's pose, your feet can be together, knees can be together. Hands go behind you, and forehead comes down to the mat. If that doesn't feel quite right for you today, big toes can come together, knees can go wide, and you can walk your hands forward, bringing your sit bones as close to your heels as they go. If they feel uncomfortably far away, you might bring a pillow or a block beneath your root to help it connect, to help it stay connected. Your next inhale comes to you. Press into the tops of the feet, coming up through table. Bring your knees below your hips for just a moment as you transition into downward dog. Feet can be about hips distance apart, toes pointed slightly inwards, knees slightly bent. Pressing solidly into all 10 fingers. And on an inhale, step your right foot between your hands and allow your left knee to come down to your mat. Untuck the toes if that feels right. Find your foundation here. Make sure your legs feel solid. And inhale your biceps alongside your ears, really feeling the stretch through the front left body and the front left leg. Exhale, dropping the shoulders down the back, inhaling, growing tall, inhaling the nutrients you need from the earth below. And as you exhale, open twist to the right. Inhale, drop the right hand down to come up, gaze lifts with your fingers. And as you exhale, straighten through the right leg and shift the hips back in space. Flexing the right foot, coming into a half split. Inhale, long spine, and exhale, fold over the right leg. On an inhale, walk the hands forward to frame the right foot, bending into the right knee. Plant both your hands down, step your right foot back to meet your left, high plank or knees on the mat. Inhale here, wherever you are. Exhale, bending the elbows in towards your sides, front body comes down to the mat. Inhale, pressing up, opening your chest, cobra. And exhale, curl the toes under, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. On your next inhale, step your left foot forward between the hands and bring the right knee down to the mat, keeping right toes tucked or untucked, whatever gives you those solid roots. connected. So you can inhale what you need to rise up. Exhale, relax the shoulders and let anything go. Inhale, length. And exhale, open twist to the left. Inhale, left hand comes down to come up, gaze lifts. And as you exhale, straightening through the left leg, hands come down to frame the leg. Hips glide back in space. Left foot flexed. Inhale, spine long. Exhale, folding over the left leg. On an inhale, bring your hands forward to frame the left foot, bending into the left knee. Curl the right toes under if they're not already, and step your left foot back to meet your right. You can stay in high plank or drop down to your knees here. Inhaling, pressing into your fingers. Exhale here. Inhale to shift forward on your toes. And exhale, bend your elbows in at your sides. Through chaturanga, down to your belly. Maybe this time, staying in chaturanga and pushing yourself to upward facing dog, rolling over your toes, knees stay lifted. And as you exhale, rolling over your toes, hips go up and back, downward facing dog. Your next inhale, walk your feet between your hands. Long spine, halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Try to relax the toes here. Relax your jaw, relax your neck. And as you inhale, root to rise, slowly rolling up, one vertebrae at a time. When you reach the top, take some time to allow your branches and your tree trunk to shake and sway in the wind as much as you need to feel comfortable, peaceful, to rid yourself of distraction. On an inhale, fingertips go down, left and right to come up. Gaze can lift towards the hands, and exhale, hands together at your chest. Connected strongly and firmly. One hand depending equally on the other to connect and to be here, to form that foundation for awareness and mindfulness. We're going to move into our tree practice now. So if you need to, you might want to find a wall or a chair or something nearby if you think that that might be practical for you. You might try without and then realize that your balance needs some support today. And I think it's beautiful to recognize that in yourself, so don't feel bad about it, please. if you do feel bad about it. I'm sure that you'll make it through, or there's something to be learned there for you. So hands together at your heart. We're all going to start to picture the bottom of our feet. Equal pressure in both feet against our mats, our carpets, our driveways, wherever you are, against the ground. Maybe you're lucky enough to be against the dirt as you stand here in this mountain pose. So you imagine the bottom of your feet. Imagine a root, small but strong, extending from each skin cell of the sole of your feet down into the earth. You are the only one limiting how deep that root grows, how wide, how far, how many others it connects to and touches. Sending and sharing energy between all beings of this earth. And then start to shift your weight over to your left foot. Just enough so that you can start to peel your right ankle up. Right toes still on the mat. Move slowly here, consciously. You'll then open your right knee to the right and bring the sole of your right foot to the inner left ankle. If your eyes were still closed like mine, then that's an awesome challenge for your balance. Go for it. But you can open your eyes here and focus on a specific point, close or far, but one that's non-moving. That'll help your balance. If it feels easier to balance with your arms extended in any direction, then go ahead and take that arm movement. I feel often a lot of people that know tree pose and practice tree pose never move into it slowly. So this is just as much of a balance challenge, honestly, as the traditional tree pose, whatever that means. So we've got this hip opener, but most especially we have this strength building in the left leg as we stand here. Those roots of that left foot that we imagine growing downwards, they're lighting up here. They're exercising their strength. We're practicing together. If there's not enough for you to learn here, right here, in this variation of the pose, that is incredible. And then I would suggest to move the sole of your right foot to your inner calf muscle of your left leg. So your right toes are no longer on the earth, trying to keep your hips level with one another so that one doesn't tip or tilt out to the side. You might try to bring your hands above in the air together. Maybe those crisscross applesauce arms that we did at the beginning, those eagle arms. That might be fun. Just play around. On your next inhale, wherever you are, however much strength and foundation you have built, go ahead and bring your right knee back into center. And exhale, release your right foot down. Go ahead and walk back and forth in the legs just a little bit. Feel how strong the muscles and the roots of your left leg have grown through this practice. Connect again to both feet evenly, just to observe the differences and changes. And on your next inhale, start to shift your weight over to your right foot. Just enough to reach and lift your left heel up off the ground. Left toes still connected. And then open your left knee to the left. And as you do so, pay attention to if your right hip starts to knock outwards. So keeping it level, then bring the sole of your left foot to the inner right ankle. Hands can be wherever you feel helps and aids your stability and foundation. I'll be a little bit quieter on this side. It's the same as the other side, but oh, so different. So much for you to learn. Walking around the foundation of your house, inspecting for any cracks so that you can only make it stronger. If you want to experience something different here, you might slide the sole of your left foot up to the inner right calf. You'll notice I didn't, on the other side, bring the foot all the way into the groin. Honestly, this variation of this pose tends to be the easiest for me at this point because I was always the kind of person that jumped into it. So here, your left thigh, when your left foot is lower on the leg, your left thigh has to work harder to open your left leg. So I appreciate that challenge when my left foot is lower. Remembering to inhale anything you need from the ground up and exhale to let anything go. Any fear, any judgment, any worry. Couple more breaths. You might feel your right leg growing stronger. And as you inhale, your left leg, left knee comes back to point forward, and exhale to release the left foot down. Go ahead and walk that out. Maybe rock your head side to side a little bit. Let's all inhale, open our arms out left and right and then above. And then exhale, dropping the left hand down to your side, leaning over to the left. Inhale back up through center. Exhale, right arm to right side, bending to the right. As you inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands come together at your chest. And then inhale, dropping the hands down and then up. As your hands lift, keep your hips low, coming into chair pose. When you look down, hopefully you can see your toes. If you can't, shift your hips back in space. If your shoulders feel tight, your hands can come together or reach out in front of you. Inhale to rise tall, hands lift, gaze lifts, and exhale, hinge at the hips. Bend the knees slightly, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, bend your knees, coming down into a little ball, coming up onto your toes. And exhale, walking your hands back, coming to a seated position. Legs out long in front of you, Dandasana here. So bringing our hands alongside our hips or maybe slightly behind so you can press down into the earth to help open the front body. Wiggle out the legs if you need to and gaze down towards your knees or upper thighs. On an inhale, hands lift, and exhale, hinge at the hips, folding forwards. You might come into contact with your feet, maybe grab your toes. If not, hands can just rest on the thighs or maybe come behind the thighs. Just to stretch the hamstrings a bit. all the work they've done. Give them some recovery here. And exhale, release. Inhale to sit tall. And exhale, make your way down to your back. Slowly bring the soles of your feet to the earth, knees pointed up above you, palms of your hands next to your hips. Fingertips might be able to graze the backs of the ankles. And on an inhale, pressing firmly down through the hands and the feet, start to lift the hips up in space. As you do so, your chest will lift, and with that, lift your gaze away with it. So your hips lift, which lifts the chest, which lifts the chin, which lifts the gaze, just so that you don't end up crunched in the neck. And on an exhale, release, moving slowly and gently for your spine. Bring the soles of your feet together and your knees wide for reclined cobblers or Supta Baddha Konasana. One hand might come to your belly and the other to your chest. If that feels comforting, or you might just open your hands alongside your body. Watching your breath slow down and settle in the valley. Watching your breath and the space it creates and the space it leaves behind. If you want to stay in your final resting pose here, please do. Or now would be your opportunity to move into Shavasana just by extending one leg and then the other. Ankles and feet wide, maybe as wide as the edges of your yoga mat. Toes opening left to right. Coming into Shavasana at the end of an earth-based root strengthening practice can be quite beautiful because this is the pose that the most surface area of your body comes into contact with the earth. And maybe, just maybe, those imaginary roots that were extending down from the soles of your feet, maybe they exist throughout your entire back body. And without doing anything here other than being, your body simply breathes in what it needs and lets go of what it doesn't. And all you have to do is observe and let it happen. Allow yourself to trust in the support that the earth can provide you. Allow gravity to let you settle and let anything go that you're still holding on to. On your next inhale, bring movement back into the body by wiggling your fingers and your toes, maybe making a fist and then opening your fingers wide. You might crack any knuckles that feel like they need cracking. Roll your wrists and your ankles. Go ahead and bend your knees, bringing the soles of your feet to the mat, or bringing your knees together if you were in reclined cobbler. Staying here for one moment. And on an exhale, when it comes to you, rolling to one side, lifting up the arm of the side that you're rolling onto to use it as a pillow to support your head. And then inhale to push yourself up to a seat. Keeping your eyes closed if you wish, opening them if you need. Right away, bringing your hands together at your chest for connection, for support, to acknowledge one side always being there for the other side. And always, as always, for a moment of gratitude for this time, for this beautiful practice of yoga that we have to help us connect. Gratitude for yourself always for taking this time to practice, to learn and to grow. And on an inhale, I bring my thumbs to my third eye, just to acknowledge the beautiful light that exists within you, and how grateful I am for that light bringing you here to share your practice with me. Namaste. You can go ahead and slowly blink your eyes open if they're not already. Coming back into this space, the colors, the textures, the sounds of the room, maybe that you forgot about or stopped getting distracted by, coming back into the world, maybe looking at your skin and touching it, all those feelings, all that physical touch, that stuff all becomes like enlivened by a practice like this. And once again, join the Yoga for Hiking Facebook group for free meditation challenges and more little bits and pieces that you don't find here on the YouTube channel. And I hope to see you again next time. Bye.